I like that, Ryan.
Yeah.
And we are live. We were just talking about how I am an endless source of good material, despite what some naysayers may be saying here and there.
I'm completely modest too.
Yes, thank you. And you're right. I'll tell you when you're right and when you're wrong. So you gotta.
It's a month to be prideful, Mike. You go ahead.
Thank you very much. I've got some color here in the background. We'll be rainbowing it out. That's from my. Let's just get to it. Welcome to episode 171 of An American Werewolf in New Jersey. I am the American Werewolf. In the house tonight, we've got our diversity, equity, and inclusion officer chastising me about not having enough color here in the background. We've got Vickers Bengelhoff. And he's struggling with some changes that he's been going through. His hands bothering him, but he was able to make it on the show tonight, and we appreciate it. Yeah, you'll be taking that contact out. And you'll
hopefully anyone watching has seen the movie and they know this joke. Otherwise, I'm sunk.
We've also got the Ryan Daly, who seems to have fixed all of his tech snafus from the last time.
It just started working, so whatever. Yeah.
Lord, it's a miracle. Okay.
Exactly.
And we've got Eric from Hey Internet. Eric here. Always cool to hang out with and talk some film.
Yep, my pleasure, dude.
Hi, Eric.
Hi.
So, most of the movies that we talk about on this, in one way or another, are entertaining. This movie sort of goes over a line into something else. Mm-hmm. This is really kind of it really is. It's a fucked up movie.
Yeah.
There's a lot of cruelty.
Yeah.
It's not fun. It's a humorless movie. It's not horror. It's not horrific in the supernatural sense, like when we talked about Hereditary, because Hereditary was humorless, and we've tackled a few other movies that are humorless. But this one, I don't know. I just watched it before we went on, and it bummed me out. I'm like, this is fucked up.
Yeah.
And we've seen a lot of first contact type movies. We've got Close Encounters. I mean, that's a kind of a happy, funny, not happy and funny, but it ends on a happy note. Mm-hmm. And, it's sort of on the lighthearted side. We got, Independence Day. Lord knows it doesn't get any lighter or happier than that. We've got one-liners here and there, and Bill Pullman giving a big
no, you did not shoot that green shit at me.
Yeah, that's exactly right. We got Will Smith pre-slap when he was on top. We got Randy Quaid.
That's right.
Yeah, we got pre-slap Will Smith.
Before he went
Randy
nuts.
Quaid, he was great. We got movies like Star Trek, First Contact, which was great. Fighting the Borg. You get to meet the Borg Queen. You've got Ridley Scott Alien.
Yeah, man.
Just that. Now that's a hell of a First Contact movie. But you still had a little brevity from people like Yaphet Kotto, Harry Dean Stanton. Yep. These sorts of characters that sort of lighten the mood. Even at E.T., that's a bit of a First Contact film. This is something else entirely. We're talking about Neil Blomkamp's District 9. If you guys are ready to go, shall we get it going?
Please,
let's do it.
So, let's do a quick round robin. Give me your impressions, takes on District 9. Vickers, what do you got for us?
All right. Right out of the gate, I'm going to say I'm going to disagree with you. Not strongly. I don't think you're necessarily wrong. This is a very different movie. But to say that this thing doesn't have humor, would be a mistake. I think this is very black humor, and I found myself giggling at a lot.
So we're having some technical difficulties with Bill. I'm sorry,
here
what?
he comes.
Damn it. All right. Again, I found myself giggling over and over with a bunch of stuff in between the cruelty and the gore. I was giggling, and it's stuff that I didn't necessarily laugh about 15 years ago when I saw this in the movie theater, and it reminded me. It's a very dark, humorous movie, but you're right. It's also something different. This harkens back to the science fiction such as Rollerball or Fahrenheit 451 or Slaughterhouse 5, where there is a message, but it's not. It's hard to say it's not slapping you upside the head. Because the metaphor is so it's so obvious. Yeah, we get it. It's about apartheid, but there's a lot more going on in there, But it's message, but it's not unearned message. It's a really, really well done science fiction movie that harkens back to the 60s. It's just got kicked up CGI and a lot of dark humor. I mean, all the stuff about the whatever it was, the WTO or the UN forces. Just watching Vickers is just hilarious. He's a bungling fool who's there. He doesn't deserve his job, and he's just bungling through it. And you can laugh about it because it's poking fun at
okay, well, let's go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's poking fun at the just the machine that runs huge operations like that.
All right, we'll get back to that. Eric, what do you got?
Well, when you were listing off like the movies that it kind of reminded you of, another one I thought of right away was Alien Nation with James Caan from the late 80s and Mandy Patinkin. But this was the first, I rewatched it last night. This was the first time I'd probably seen it in a handful of years. And first off, this movie made me a Blomkamp fan. I've seen 3 of his 4 movies, and I love all 3 that I've seen. But like you said, Mike, I didn't realize how cruel it was. Like, I knew the plot. It's been so long. I forgot how much of an asshole Vicker was.
Yeah.
He really was. And I'm still kind of torn by the time it ends. Do I feel sympathy for him or not? Because he was such a prick, like that first 20, 30 minutes before, the change started to happen. But I love, like what Bill said, you're not slapped in the face with the message. You get it right away. And then it's pretty much balls to the wall from the beginning to the end of this film. And it is a lot of fun, a lot of stuff happening, all at once. But I didn't realize how cruel it was with the, I guess you say the aliens, or what do they call them? I forget what they call them.
Prawns.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. The prawns. Yeah.
Daly, what do you got?
All right. Well, this is one of those movies for me that kind of came out of nowhere, because I really I don't even know how I had heard of it. I don't even know if I saw the trailer. I saw it with Michelle, and we were like, oh, let's go check this out, this District 9. I had no idea what it was about and no idea what was going on. And yeah, I know it's the whole, the apartheid, and it's the colonialism and all that. But what I really thought was cool about it was it was filmed like a documentary or like a news, like it was like
found footage.
Yeah. Not necessarily found footage, but like it was like a news broadcast kind of thing.
Yeah.
That
added to the humor for me. It was kind of like watching an episode of The Office at first.
Yeah. And it was the effects for, what was that, 2009? The effects were great. They still hold up today. I think was that Peter Jackson's company, Weta Digital, that did Lord of the Rings?
I know. Yeah, Wingnut Films was the production company.
Wingnut, because he produced it. Yep. It was the first time I'd ever seen Charlton Copley, and unfortunately, I haven't been following Charlton Copley as much. I absolutely love Charlton Copley in the A-Team. Nobody else could have played Murdoch as good as he was. He was hilarious in that. But I know since then he's kind of stuck with the sci-fi and dark stuff. I do agree with Eric and Bill in that Vikas was kind of a prick, but I think also he's kind of in over his head. Definitely in over his head. And I like the mistrust between the prawns and the humans and stuff was really good. And from what I understand, there is finally a District 10 in the works.
Ooh.
I don't know. Apparently, Sharlto Copley's been talking that up. I don't know.
I almost wish they would.
I mean, it's kind of a long time.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
It's been 14 years. They're about 11 years late.
Yeah. Again, though, it was for me. It's one of those kind of underground movies. I think it's still not like. I think it's still not like as well known to the general public as it should be. But it's a great sci-fi. It's one of my sci-fi rotation. I always watch it. Yeah.
Here's the thing, and this is what takes the humor out of it for me. I find Vickers to just be a complete piece of shit. And I really don't find him to be a sympathetic character. It isn't until maybe the last 5 or 7 minutes of the film that he actually does something for the right reasons.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that's a harsh judgment considering the circumstances. But everything he does, whether he's the bureaucratic asshole, or when he suddenly finds himself on the other side of the coin as the other, he's all about himself.
Right.
He's just a complete piece of shit. He betrays people. He betrays, what was the name of the Christopher Johnson? And I didn't feel any, I wrote that in the notes. I'm like, he's still a piece of shit. He's just, all about himself.
Yeah, that's why, like I said, that's why it was hard for me to, by the end of it, how the movie ended, to even feel a little bit of sympathy. And I forgot about that because it's been so long since I've seen it that I didn't realize he was that big of an asshole from beginning to end.
Well, everything is about
going back to the Twilight Zone with was it Vic Morrow?
Vic Morrow.
He's also a 100% asshole that you don't want to sympathize with until the end. I know they redid a few things and he's there in Nazi Germany, but you're supposed to, at the end, when he becomes the other, that's when you're supposed to feel that sympathy. You're sort of supposed to put yourself in that position.
I guess I missed the whole. I didn't read into his character as deeply, and he didn't come off as selfish. But again, I'd have to go back and watch it again. I'm sure. I thought he came off more as like I'm just using this as an analogy, like Peter Sellers, just bumbling and just
he's a pencil pusher.
Yeah, and he's out of his depth.
He's a pencil pusher that they put out into the field because essentially what happens is these aliens land, their ship and their technology is dead, and they're forced to live in this militarized sort of refugee camp
in the slums,
on the outskirts of Johannesburg, and it's like almost 2 million of them. So eventually, after 20 plus years, the citizenry of South Africa decides they don't want them in the city or outside anymore. They're going to move them far out into this outskirt sort of encampment. And you sort of meet Vickers, who is
Vickers, I think. I don't know.
He's a glorified pencil pusher. He's the boss's son-in-law, and he sort of gets a job running an eviction. Basically, it's so absurd. It's almost this Kafka-esque kind of thing where you want aliens to sign these eviction notices. It would have been funny if it wasn't so damn harsh.
Yes.
People are getting murdered. I started calling them people, and I've seen this a few times, but it was real. And I think I had a similar point of view with you three until I saw it this time. And just for some reason, this time, just watching it now, it hit me differently. And I'm like, this is beyond fucked up. And
Imagine what it was like for South Africans to watch that.
yeah.
I'd be interested in seeing their responses, how they felt about it and stuff,
That's part of the dark humor, because they had plenty of Black South African, at least characters in this movie, complaining about the prawns in the same exact way a racist white person would have done 30 years ago.
The full dehumanization, the other, I don't want them around, I don't want them here, anywhere but here, get them away from me, this sort of thing. I did find one thing that was interesting about Wickers, which was that he was a paper pusher. And so what happens to him happens to sort of an everyman of sorts. But he wasn't like some sort of soldier like you would have gotten in a typical alien movie. He wasn't some, super duper, combat person. He's just he's kind of a horse's ass.
Right.
But it's very easy for him to, go into that thing where they're the other. Oh yeah, these guys are trouble. I don't trust them. This sort of thing. And you're just like, you're a douche.
Yeah,
you're just a skinny little douche.
He's every bit the racist as everyone else against these aliens, but he's a goofball, and there's this great interplay between him and the very super serious colonel of the security forces, who's tolerating this asshole. That was just a really good tension at the beginning that I found pretty funny.
The military colonel Kubis, who is very much the sort of super soldier, maybe kind of special forces guy who just there's Wickers. He's in a sweater vest with a lanyard, and with probably a clip-on tie, and he's just shaking hands. And
he just looks like a dork.
Yeah, he's a dork. If he had a pocket protector, he'd be perfect for like Revenge of the Nerds. Except he's like a racist nerd, it's like, and you can't, it's so out of place, but it grabs you. Yeah. And so, the next thing you know, they're performing this militarized sort of eviction on these aliens. And it's just.
He starts out doing the paperwork, which he's supposed to do, which is getting people to sign off to agree to be moved. But halfway through it, he starts acting like he's a super cop. Like, you got computer equipment. Hey, there's weapons here.
He's getting into it.
Violator, and he all of a sudden is like the ultimate tattletale, where he's getting these people in trouble, and the security forces come in and start killing them.
Well, he's a party member. He's the party member, every bit. These guys are wrong. I don't trust them. I don't know what this is, but I don't trust them. They're trouble. Yeah. And that's why I just, it didn't strike me as humorous. It's a fantastic movie. Don't misunderstand me.
Funny.
Now I'm reading something here about the movie. And it said it was inspired by actual historical events during apartheid.
Yeah.
It was an area called District 6, which was an inner city residential area in Cape Town. It was declared a whites-only area by the government in 1966, with 60,000 people forcibly removed 16 miles away. So that's where he got the idea from. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what Pete Townsend based in White City on, I think.
Oh, okay.
Anti-apartheid album in 1985.
Yeah, people forget it. A lot of people have forgotten about apartheid, but was.
And it was up to pretty recent, up to like what, the 90s, right?
90s.
Yeah, 94, something like that, when Mandela took power.
Yeah, and I mean they still haven't recovered from that.
I know.
The people that have just filled the vacuum are the worst. Now it's so just Black Africans taking, as much as they can fill their pockets with.
Yeah.
Now, that's another thing that this movie is real good at, is not whitewashing the culture. They were real good at depicting the Nigerians, depicting the willingness of the Black South Africans to be pretty vicious. It wasn't all, it's all whites doing this, and the metaphor was really well played out. It was the stuff with the Nigerians also very funny and very shocking and very, very cruel.
It was shocking. I just, like I said, I didn't find the humor, and I was just repulsed by the whole thing. And because you've got Nigerians living in this camp, and they're running a black market, and they're jacking up the prices on things because these aliens love cat food. And so they're jacking up the price on that.
Man, come on.
I'll give Bill that. I found that joke funny when Vickers says he shows up and he's looking for hamburgers or something like that, and he asks for one. They're cutting up goats or something like that. And he's like, the Nigerian looks at him. He's like, "Do I look like I have hamburger here? Oh, is that cat food? Yeah, I'll take one of those." You know what I mean? That little type of humor sprinkled in. I thought I could see what Bill's trying to say with that little black humor.
I mean, this is not slapstick porgs,
No, right.
This is very dark humor, and it's like dark humor is like
or like
socialist countries. Not everyone gets
or
it.
like how the media says that Vickers got this by fucking an alien. You know what I mean? And that's all over the newspapers, that type of stuff.
I mean, come on, the Nigerians eating the guy's arm, the prawn's arm, just to get power. That was hilarious.
Yeah. So what ends up happening during the raid, they discover this vial that somehow fucking explodes in Wicker's face.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what the real start of the problem is, because he's now contaminated and is genetically and physically starting to transform into one of the prawns or aliens.
That was the one part I didn't understand, is that how did that stuff start turning him into one of them?
They never explained it. Technology was bio enhanced. That's the reason why.
That's what
you shoot the guns, is because you had to be biologically part of that species.
And I like how after he got hit in the face with that stuff, he looked at his cameraman. He says, "Make sure you edit that out." You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's good. That's funny.
Well, it starts to. I mean, it just starts to go downhill from there, because he becomes very sick, and like the whole world just flips on him instantly.
Oh yeah.
Like they throw this surprise party for him, and he looks like the angel of death is there in the room with him when he shows up to the party, and he just vomits this black or goo all over the food, collapses. And, the next thing you know, he's in the hospital. There's some impressive body horror with this.
Yes.
Very much as he slowly begins, or maybe even not so slowly, begins to transform into one of these fucking aliens. Yeah,
they do a lot of really good foreshadowing and build-up, because I think the first thing we see is he's having lunch, and they point at him, and he's like, he's got a nosebleed, but it's like this black goo that's coming out of him, and it's landing on his food. Yeah. And I must have missed how it happened, but he burns his skin. So for a lot of the time when he's in, District 9, his hand's wrapped up. And then when he's finally in the hospital, they unwrap it. So you get to see that little alien claw.
Yeah. It was kind of reminded me of The Fly a little bit.
Definitely.
It's like the alien arm, it was kind of like that.
Yep.
Hold on a second. We got some comments here. We got Echo Sarah.
Go.
I keep forgetting about this movie. What's happening, man? Someday I need to see District 9. It is streaming right now on Max, HBO. Yep. I think it's also streaming on Hulu. But Hulu has done something fucked up recently. There are like two different Hulus now.
Really?
There's like a really expensive Hulu, and then there's like a $9.99 Hulu, and then there's one that's like $75 a month.
And
weird.
So
when it says Hulu Premium subscription, I don't know what that means anymore.
I thought Hulu was under the Disney umbrella now.
For some reason, they've got like two separate streams.
Yeah, they got something going on with Max. It's probably a foregone conclusion that Hulu's going to merge with Max pretty soon.
Oh, okay.
Everything's winding up under the Max banner.
Everything is. I mean, I'm paying, I think, $10 or $12 for all like the Disney bundle, and so that's Max, which I barely use. It's Max. No, not Max. It's Hulu and ESPN Plus, and that's like $12. But then there's a separate Hulu.
Why did they get rid of
it's on Hulu. No, it's not that Hulu. It's the really expensive one.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So,
Did HBO pull out of that deal?
No,
Is that why
there's just too much non-HBO material now under their banner that they couldn't keep calling it HBO. They've added almost 20 content bundles. It used to be 10 with like the movie channel and some other stuff, but now
movie channel,
huge.
Yeah.
See, I don't remember any. I mean, I haven't had to deal with that in so long because everything for me is just streaming.
I remember
everything
the
for
movie
me
channel.
Is just streaming. I haven't had to deal with because Cinemax and HBO is now all
Cinemax,
on yeah, Cinemax. So all of those are on there. If I want like Showtime, I can get it through Paramount Plus.
Yep.
And that's pretty much the extent of the old.
Do you remember Prism? Remember Prism?
Oh yeah. That was a local Philadelphia.
Oh yeah, Prism was
channel,
like the adult station. That was like
I think past a certain hour. Yeah, I think past 11 o'clock or something. Yeah. All those old 80s. Gene Simmons' wife was in like half of them or something like that.
So I didn't know that was a local thing.
That was a Philadelphia-based channel. Yeah.
Huh. Okay.
I remember we used to, because cable didn't come to my section of town until like 86 or 87. Everybody across Route 30 had it. We didn't have it. And so we had something called WHT, Wometco Home Theater. It was like an alternate for people who didn't have cable. It was a movie channel. That. And it only started, we had, our house had it. It only started at like 8 p.m.
Oh wow!
And so it only ran then, and then at night they ran like the softcore porn or like the Andy Warhol movies. I remember trying to watch Andy Warhol's Frankenstein, and we watched it for like 10 minutes. And my parents,
that's a rough one.
Yeah, you're going to bed. We're not watching this.
We had to walk uphill both ways in snow to see a titty, and we liked it.
You're trying to change the channel, and like it's all over the fucking place.
Unfortunately, I've never seen any of Andy Warhol's movies, so
that's not missing anything.
I've seen the Dracula and the Frankenstein one, both of them once, and I never returned.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So let's get back to our man Vickers, who starts to very quick. We were talking about the body horror.
Oh, I love that claw they give him.
Yeah, it starts to. I mean, when it happens, it starts happening fast.
Mm-hmm.
And so, I mean, essentially, I think they just decide to vivisect him.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to vivisect him. They're just going to dissect him alive, conscious. His father-in-law is in on it.
Yep.
Because he's just a soulless fucking douche.
Yeah.
And that's where he enables his own escape. And starts to experience what it's like to be the other person. The shoe is on the other foot.
Yeah.
The worst part is that he's the linchpin in opening up access to all these amazing weapons that they have taken from the alien ship.
Yeah, they've been conducting medical experiments on these people. It's very, final solution-y. Kind of
I
thing
did
going
notice
on.
that connection. Yeah.
There's some Dr. Mengelas working there. They're trying to get these because they want the money from the biotech.
Mm-hmm.
They want to figure out how to use the weapons. And this is endless revenue streams if they can tap into this, and so they just don't have any problems with dissecting these things.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just I'm like, this is fucked, man.
Yep.
They're just creatures to these people, And what I think that's what I really like about this film is they really make the creatures seem more human than the humans, if that makes sense. You know what I mean?
The eyes.
And it's I mean they had actors. I think there was an actor who played Christopher Johnson. So they had I don't know if it was motion capture or somebody in a suit or what, but it was like they conveyed emotion and stuff. It wasn't just some, you felt bad for these creatures,
Well, it was one of the few. I mean, with these sorts of movies where you had. You're right. Because I guess in some of these other movies you had dialogue. It's not Ridley Scott's Alien. No one's going to feel bad for those fucking. You shoot them out into space.
Yeah.
But I mean. it's a different
these
sort of
had a
dynamic
human
where
side
the
to 'em.
aliens aren't the aggressors.
Right.
No, they're not.
That's where you're seeing all of these sorts of first contact sorts of films, the Borg, Alien, Independence Day. The humans are the victims. Blomkamp turned that on its head and made the aliens the.
It's a really cool subtle thing that they did too. Was I'm guessing that the aliens are unable to make human words in however they communicate their clicks and beeps. All the humans are bilingual. They can understand them completely.
Yeah,
right.
That was just a little knife twist. It made them the prawns more real and more almost human like you were sympathetic.
I was gonna say, as far as sympathetic alien, E.T. was a sympathetic alien. He was.
So, unfortunately, we've had some technical.
The humans were the bad guys in that, right?
You don't want to talk about E.T.
No, I'm just saying. I'm just making the connection between these aliens and that one. All right,
Elliot. All right, Elliot. All right. I saw that once when everyone else saw it. It was an 82, and I've never seen it since. I've never seen it since.
And it has
Eric, you're a parent. And Ryan, you're a parent, so you probably have watched.
I don't know if I want to show my kids E.T.
I showed my daughter. She's 11 now, but I showed her.
Was she traumatized when she saw it?
No.
Okay.
No,
I remember those government people come in. You're like, what the fuck is going on here? That was my first
exposure. They got
to
rid of the rifles.
That was my first exposure to big government.
Okay, to show kids now.
Yeah,
I made sure she saw the version with the rifles. Trust me.
Oh
where they took the rifles out.
Yeah, there's a scene.
Radios in.
Yeah, the scene where the kids are being chased by the government. They do the whole flying across the government stuff. Spielberg, and he says he regrets it. That's what you get for listening to George Lucas. He took out all the rifles and he replaced them with walkie-talkies.
Yeah, right around the same time they did that whole special edition thing and made Greedo shoot first.
I didn't notice that. What scene? Is it only one scene?
There's a couple scenes, but the main scene is when Elliot and then they break E.T. out of the government facility and they fly over the roadblock of cars.
Mm-hmm.
See, I haven't.
There's a big scene where one of the FBI agents pulls out a rifle. You can fucking see it right there. And then he took that out and then he replaced the rest with walkie-talkies.
I'm not. E.T.'s not one of my go-to movies, so No,
I once in 1982, and that was about it. That's as far as it goes.
It's a landmark movie, but it's just not everybody's cup of tea. Like, I was never into Close Encounters. I just never got into that movie.
So good.
I just got a copy of that, but it's one of those things. It sort of is and isn't land. Like, you don't hear people talking about E.T. anymore. Like the way people still talk about Star Wars, or they talk about Jaws. Yeah. Talk about Raiders, this E.T. is kind of.
That's because there's only one movie, and we're not getting an E.T. movie every 6 fucking months.
Right. Or Close Encounters. Yeah.
ETU.
The extended universe.
Yeah, that's what's going to be DCU. Elseworlds.
Jesus Christ. I just saw Close Encounters. I found a cheap Blu-ray for like $5.
I just thought it was boring.
It's still good. It's not an action movie.
No, I know.
It's not an action movie. And like for people who saw, and were expecting, Star Wars, this. But I got to tell you, that first 5 minutes inside there were like, you're only hearing the radio broadcast of those pilots that are seeing the aliens, or when they're in the desert and all those old planes just show up like out of nowhere from World War II. That still fucking gets me like every time. Oh shit! Like this is really fucking good.
I'd have to go back and see it because I never dedicated that much attention to it. I saw like a few scenes here and there, but it just struck me as boring. I'll give it another shot.
It was one of my dad's favorite movies of all time, so I'd seen it numerous times growing up.
He was a
huge sci-fi nut.
There are many different versions of it now. I think there are several cuts.
Yes.
Now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think I
like
got
a director's cut and stuff.
Yeah, that kind of thing. It's
a lot more alien action at the end.
Yeah.
One movie I always enjoyed, and I can't remember because I haven't seen it in a long time, but I can't remember if there were aliens involved or not. Was Contact? The one with
Jodie Foster? Yeah,
that's a great movie.
Oh
from
yeah,
the 90s.
That was they drop her off of a parachute ride, and she goes into a
Yeah, it was a
time warp
Carl
or something.
Sagan book.
That was a
I
Carl
think.
Sagan
It was
novel.
really good.
Yeah.
The novel is fucking phenomenal.
Is it?
Oh, okay. I'll have to
yeah.
read it.
The
But
novel
Contact
is
was a
just
really cool
gorgeous.
movie. Yeah.
Yeah. Carry on for a second. I'll be there in a second.
Okay.
Yeah, the only thing I don't remember too much about Contact other than Jodie Foster, and then Jake Busey shows up and he tries to blow up the place, and
Yeah,
he looks.
definitely
That was the
wanna
first
see
time
it
I saw
again.
Jake, and I'm like, Jesus Christ, he looks and acts just like his father.
Yeah. Well, that's
If
not
anyone
good.
was an alien, it's the Buseys. You know what I mean?
I did. I remember seeing that and really digging it because it was just, I like the story though. And I think they pulled like a Forrest Gump, and they had like scenes with like Bill Clinton in it, and they had like the other characters there and stuff like, because I think Angela Bassett was in it, and she played some kind of presidential person or something like that. So they had like Bill Clinton like giving a speech, and then they had her like on stage. They kind of did one of those Forrest Gump type things. But yeah, that wasn't Matthew McConaughey in that too?
Yeah, he was a male lead.
Yeah. What about that? What was that other one? Did you ever see Solaris?
No.
No.
The Clooney one? I never saw that. I never saw the original either. So I don't,
The original what?
Solaris.
Oh, 72. Yeah, I never saw that either.
Well, no, they did a remake with Clooney, but I didn't see that one.
We are diverging hard off of
Well, it's sci-fi though. It's sci-fi, so
Well, I was looking for my copy. Yeah, I have Contact.
There it is. Yeah.
Okay, great. And I found my copy of Close Encounters.
Okay.
I think this is a director's, or it has a version with a director's cut. There's the feature film. There's 3 different versions of this. A special
Did
edition.
Spielberg do Close Encounters?
Yeah,
and a director's cut.
Yeah, I think the main difference in the director's cut is at the end of the film you get to see inside the spaceship.
Yeah.
And a little bit more aliens, but it's not much new footage, but that's what I like. Well, that's one thing I'll give Spielberg credit for is when he does do these special editions, he always makes the originals still available. He says he'll never change that.
Yeah.
So,
I like Spielberg stuff.
Yeah, my favorite Spielberg movie has nothing to do with any of this stuff. It's music.
Yeah, I still got to see that. You keep telling me to see that.
Yeah. I love that. I heard he's doing a new, not a remake.
Not West Side Story again, is it?
No. Which I'd be interested to see because he jabbed his foot in musical. No, he's doing a version of Bullet with
shit.
Bradley Cooper is playing Bullet. I don't know if that's what I heard. That's the rumor.
Steve McQueen, man.
If,
that's like remaking a Clint Eastwood movie.
I don't know if it's supposed to be a remake or just another Bullet movie. I don't know anything about it, but that's Spielberg's next thing. He's kind of doing like these kind of genre pictures now, which is interesting.
Maybe him and Scorsese are going to have like a fucking race to the finish line, man. Because Scorsese says he's doing a Christ movie.
Is he really?
He's
another Jesus movie. He's got a Grateful Dead movie. He said he was going to do another mafia crime movie as well.
What's this new one he's got coming out with a Native American, the DiCaprio film? That's like 3 hours and 40 minutes
Killers
long.
of the something moon or something like that.
Yeah,
that's the Flower Moon.
He's been talking about this, and he's like, he goes, and he said it point blank. He's like, I'm running out of time. Mm-hmm. And he's like, I have so many. He's like, I have so many ideas now.
Right.
All these ideas are coming to him at the end, and he doesn't know, how much time he's going to have to get them all done.
Well, I mean,
he's the opposite of Tarantino, who wants.
I was just thinking,
he set a limit for himself. I mean, his next movie is going to be his last one,
and he said he's looking for like someone that's maybe not a big name.
It's
like some
to be
35-year-old or something,
It's supposed to be about
Evan Peters. Maybe we'll Evan Peters.
It's supposed to be it's a movie about a movie reviewer who works for like a porno magazine.
And that could be Evan Peters. That's perfect.
Oh, big time, yeah.
Fucking Dahmer and American Horror
Story. Yep.
Yeah, that's perfect, Evan Peters.
I don't know, because I thought his original, I remember an interview, he said he was originally going to do one about just a movie critic like Pauline Kael, like somebody legendary like that. But now he said it's a reviewer for like some second-rate porn mag. So
that's more Tarantino, though.
That's
that's right up his alley.
Yeah, as opposed to just like Vanity Fair. I mean, that's not
as long as he has a spot for Kurt Russell, I'm fine with it.
I could totally see Kurt Russell, doing something, yeah.
Oh yeah,
I wonder if all of his stable of actors will be in this last one.
Oh, I would love to see all of them return for the last.
It'll be like a multiverse of cameos, man.
Yeah.
Like a will be in there, and
a 4-hour, just every actor who's ever been in his movies.
Just get Michael Madsen like a bottle of Jack, prop him up in the corner, and that's all we need.
That's what they did for him in The Hateful Eight.
I know.
He just sat there on that bed the whole time. He didn't do shit the whole time. He just sat there on that bed. Pretending to scribble in his journal or something, wasn't he?
And he loved it.
Yeah,
which
every
one's
second
that?
of it. Hateful Eight.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was only in it for, like having some interaction with Kurt Russell for like 5 minutes.
Michael Madsen.
Yeah.
No,
Michael Madsen makes him give up guns.
Yeah.
But that's all he really did in the whole movie. He doesn't really.
Sat there,
at the end, when they show you what really has happened, he's.
Oh,
that's why I said he probably couldn't stand. It's Michael Madsen. If he shows up sober, it's going to be a bad day.
He's got the DTs again.
Yep.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, that guy's old school. All right, let's talk about. The government completely turns on him. Like you said, he's having sex with aliens.
Yeah.
He goes to the Nigerians and they've got the magazine that they pull out. They're like, where did you put your dick? Like, you're a crazy fucking white man. You really are. You're a crazy fucking white man. You're like, how did you do this? Like, Jesus Christ. But like the entire system turns on this guy.
Yeah.
He's immediately an outsider.
Like instantly. Like there's no transition. He's just the bad guy.
Yep.
It's kind of scary, but he figures out by running into Christopher Johnson that what they really need is to get that fluid to get the ship running again.
Yeah,
Christopher Johnson. Now Christopher, the deal with this is that he's going to help Christopher Johnson not for the right reasons, but because he wants to reverse what's happening to him.
Yeah, he promises them he can fix him.
Yeah, which is the truth.
It's never the MacGuffin. Never is the thing.
No,
you have to know that. He promises, "I'll fix you. I'll fix you." Fix him.
Yeah, he knew for a fact that he was never going to help him. And what I love was Vickers just says, "Oh, just make some more." That took me 20 years to make. They had that little bickering going on with each other.
See, I didn't get that. What ends up happening is that when they go back to the MNU to get the fluid, Christopher Johnson sees all the medical experiments.
Yep,
and that's what changes him. He goes, "I can't spare any of it now." He goes, "I have to leave here. I have to come and bring back help. Like I don't have enough to get back home as fast as I possibly can and help you. Yeah, I can help you in 3 years. Where either you come with me and we can slowly reverse it, once we get where we're going, or, you stay here and I swear to you, I'm going to come back for you." But I don't think that Christopher Johnson was lying to him. It's just he didn't understand what was happening when these people were being taken in, and he sees all his vivisected people. Shut up. He sees all these vivisected people. I'm going to give you a woo-woo. Shut up.
She's just saying hi. Come on.
She's going to be saying ow in a minute. Kick right in the keister.
From rapists. That's what she's doing.
It's my buddy. He's using the gym. All right. So what ends up happening, but I don't think he was lying. Do you think? I don't think he was lying.
I never trust that promise in a movie ever.
I didn't think if he was telling the truth initially, I think he changed his mind.
He says it right there. I will come back. I promise.
But I think he might have changed his mind once he saw the bodies of the prawns.
Yeah.
If he could have been indecisive. He could have just been telling Vickers, what he wants to hear. Because remember, to him, the humans are bad because look what they've done to his people. You know what I mean? His kind. And then, you know, the nail on the head was seeing that they're just experiments to them. So if he was going to do it within 3 years, I think he definitely changed his mind once he was in the lab.
Yeah. I think I was taking him at his word. I don't think it was naivete. We didn't see anything that let us know in the movie that, you know, the aliens were, you know, double dealing or anything like that. You know, they just
the aliens I think were genuine.
Yeah, I got that. That was what I got out of it. No, you know.
I got that out of it, that they were very genuine, that Christopher was very genuine, very trustworthy, and stuff like that. I mean, you know, the aliens are more trustworthy than the humans. I mean, you know, that's.
And I love that. That was where you saw some of the real action, where he's finally able to activate the weapons against that fucking Kubis douche, who's just he's just a murderer.
Yeah.
I mean, that's all he is. He's just a fucking. He's not a soldier. He's just a fucking brute and a fucking murderer.
He's a mercenary. I mean,
he's like BlackRock. He's like contractors in Iraq.
Yeah. What were those guys? Not Halliburton. Eric Prince. What was the name of that contracting company that used to recruit the mercenaries?
Yeah, I can't remember.
I can't think of Black Bear or Black Paw or Black something. It was Black something. All right. So I mean, you know, they end up getting. I loved it. They escape. Those weapons are just shredding people. It's got this movie has really
cool
good
action.
It's not just a sob story. It's not. This is not Schindler's List or anything like that. This is some real shit. And you can see why the aliens have had to put up with this, because none of their technology has been shut down. Yeah. And the one thing that empowers the ship sort of fell. They show it in the beginning, and no one has been able to find it. And Christopher Johnson has been slowly repairing it for 20 years. And once they can activate that, then they can take their weapons back and just kick the shit out of the humans.
But see, that's another reason why I didn't 100% trust Christopher, because you could be the nicest person in the world, but even prawns have their breaking point. You know what I mean? The stuff that they've been put through for at least 20 years. If it's taken him 20 years to do this, I don't know how long they've officially been on Earth. I don't remember.
20 years.
You know what I mean? That's those humans to him. Humans to them are still the bad guys. You know, the nicest dog in the world. Eventually, one person can beat it enough where it won't trust a single human. You know what I mean?
Yeah, as much as we like to anthropomorphize them, they go into this in the movie how most of the prawns are actually worker bees. They don't have much of a sense of motivation. They're not super smart. They're just sort of the workers. And Christopher is one of the I guess drones or whatever, who has more intellect and is sort of a leader. So he doesn't like seeing all his worker drones being chopped up, but you know, the worker drones themselves are not really motivated. They just sort of there.
They need someone to direct them.
Yeah.
They need someone to direct them, but you can't really direct anybody without the technology. Again, you know, coming back to these freaky Nigerians, you know, they just want to chop off his fucking arm and eat it.
Yep.
It's just, it's just foul. I just found it foul.
Yeah. It's pretty foul.
You know, and it's always like the dumbest motherfuckers that are in charge. You know, so it's like, I don't know if it's life imitating art nowadays or art imitating life, but it's just like the stupidest fucking people, you know, are the ones with all the weapons, you know, and that, you know, are just holding all the cards. And you're just like, you know, how are you in charge of anything?
Right.
You know, stupid bastard, you know, that is just, he wants to cannibalize a fucking alien arm. And he thinks that because it's for the usual reasons, power.
Yeah, he thinks it'll give him the strength and the power that Vickers is getting now, or any type of prawn that could possibly have
like
this power.
Anybody who believes, I mean, you could also, like, when in, you know, I'm just going to use this as an example, the Native American cultures who believe that if they ate, you know, an eagle, they would get the powers of And it was a spiritual thing. So a lot of, who knows if these Nigerians were, what if they believed it was like a cult type thing, they eat it, they become, they get the power like that, or they're just sick people. I don't know.
I think he was just sick in the head and kind of dumb, is what I think it was. I mean, I get your analogy, like the spirit and stuff like that. I think this guy, he already had all the guns and everything. He just wanted a chance to have more power, is what it was.
I think they're just saying that the Nigerians were very superstitious. At least the tribal warlord guys were.
This was not some PhD in philosophy,
right?
Fucking student, whose world traveled. This is just some fucking goon who's probably smoking methamphetamine every night, and he's got a bunch of fucking AKs, and he thinks, well, hey, if I eat this fucking arm, I'll be even stronger.
Right.
And I've said this before, like, I love mad scientists, even in real life, like somebody like, Elon or something like that, or like Conor McGregor. I just think he's a mad scientist. He just is.
Okay.
And I've said before that, rehab facilities and prisons are full of mad scientists too. It's the rare one that actually manages to thread the fucking needle, actually make something out of it, because most of them crash and fucking burn because they're fucking crazy.
Yes.
That's their one fucking debilitating factor, or one of several. But I mean, in this case, I think that's just what you're fucking dealing with, some fucking hophead who just sits in some fucking refugee camp, and he's a gangster, and he's dealing in voodoo or whatever the fuck it is, and
to subjugate his people or scare them,
and suddenly it becomes why not eat an arm? I've done everything else. Why the fuck
I'm reminded, and then this isn't as extreme as eating an arm, but we just in class finished. I did a nonfiction unit. We always have to do a Holocaust and genocide, and I just showed them Hotel Rwanda.
Oh, it's a rough movie. Yeah, it's a rough movie.
Guy in that, George Rutaganda, he's dead now, the real guy, but he was the leader of the people who were exterminating the Tutsis. He was he was like that guy, this gangster who amassed all the guns. He had all the power. They would rape the Tutsi women and call them witches, and just like, he was a disgusting human being. I mean, and it's kind of reminds me.
Wasn't he the guy that who's the star of that movie? I can't think
Don
of his
Cheadle.
name. Isn't that the guy that Don Cheadle yells at because he starts to realize that it's over with? And like the rest of the world is going to come in there.
That's actually the guy, the general of the Rwandan army, who's also corrupt.
He's like, you have 5 stars on your chest. Who the fuck do you think that they're going to come after?
That guy Bizimungu, he was actually tried for war crimes too. But Rutaganda he's getting on the radio.
The militia. He's on the militias. Yeah.
He's stirring up everybody with the propaganda and all that stuff. And we got to kill the Tutsis and all this stuff.
The cockroaches and
and just the influence of this guy was just insane. But see, he was also working with Don Cheadle because he was selling him stuff. Don Cheadle went to him for, I need so many pounds of sugar. This guy ran a supply
black market. He ran the black market.
Yeah. I mean, and that's who this guy in this movie kind of reminds me of, just like a 10 times crazier version, of that kind of guy. But those guys exist. Those warlords exist, I mean, it's crazy stuff.
It's not uncommon. I mean, a good portion of the world is run that way.
Look at Blood Diamond, the same thing in there too with those. I mean, that movie's hardcore too.
All right. Let's get back to District 9. I love the fucking Iron Man suit.
Mm-hmm.
I love the fucking tech suit. Yeah. He manages to realize he can fight because, Christopher Johnson is arrested and they're beating him.
Yep.
For information, but he's not going to give up his son.
Right.
Like they're asking him the one thing that he's just not going to give an answer for. He's not going to give up his son or what the plan is, because his son is on the shuttle. So, they're just, they can beat him all day. He's not going to say anything. And he comes out, and this is still what kind of pissed me off. Wickers runs away. He's in the fucking Iron Man suit, and it isn't until like he runs away and Kubis calls him a coward.
Yeah.
And he's like, fuck. Okay, because they're like, well, let's just kill the other guy. And yeah. Now, hold on a second. Castellar Daniel Garcia says, fun immigration sci-fi film. Yes. We're currently experiencing our own border issues right now. So yeah, this is sort of this argument of the other is kind of a timeless argument. It never really goes away. I still prefer Beyond Skyline.
Never heard of it.
Know that one.
I never heard of that. No.
Bill, do you know it?
No.
Yeah, I think
that one.
I think this movie is very timely with the subject matter. It's going on right now. I mean,
we've got 4 million people just flooding in across the border. What are you supposed to do? It's a huge debate that's going on right now. And a lot of black market shit, involved in getting them across.
Yep.
A lot of very not nice people handling the people that are coming in. For money. Love Scanner Cop 1. I don't know that one.
Looks like Beyond Skyline is like the second of a trilogy of alien movies. They're all on Netflix, it looks like.
Okay. We'll have to take a look. So, I mean, what happens after that? I love the fight with Kubis. Eventually, even the suit goes down because they're shooting Barretts at it. They're shooting miniguns at it. They're just firing everything. And eventually, the suit fucking fails. And Kubis is going to kill fucking Wickers. And then there's a small revolt of the fucking prawns.
Yeah.
And I love that. They just pull him the fuck apart.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
His head just comes off. He shoots a couple of them, and then they just descend on him. And he just fucking, they grab him like every limb and just fucking pull. And he's fucking comes apart. Now, the ship takes off, and this is where we are today. Supposed to be back in 3 years. The commentary says they don't know. Was Christopher Johnson just saying that? And I'd like all of your opinions on this. Was he just saying that? Is he just going to escape? Or is he rallying his forces to come back to Earth and declare war? Not a rescue, but declare war.
They're all possibilities. I don't know if any of them are necessarily there's one answer. I mean, I like the mystery at the end.
All right, well, hold on a second. Let's go with Eric and then
I don't think he's going to come back to declare war, because if he didn't have a child, maybe.
Yeah.
I don't think he wants to put. Well, not that he wouldn't have to bring his child, but then we don't know if, as funny as it sounds, we don't know if he's a single prawn father. You know what I mean? We don't know if that, again, if he dies.
Eric, the test results are in.
I don't think he would put his family in.
You are the father.
Yeah. You are the prawn. I don't think he would put his family in jeopardy. But one thing to consider, is their time the same as ours? What's 3 years to them? Is that 3 years to us type of thing? But I still
specifies
think
to Wickers that 3 years are 3 Earth years. Wickers asks him that. You mean 3 Earth years? He's like, yes.
Okay. I don't think he's coming back. I think he's going to stay away. I think he's happy to be out of that shithole. He doesn't have to worry about his family. He doesn't have to worry about his health type of thing. I think he's going to stay and just have, Vickers just deal with being with what he's stuck being, to be honest.
Leave the other 2 million prawns on Earth.
Yeah,
possibly, because how many is on his home? You know what I mean?
If I was to venture a guess, I'd say he comes back in 3 years. He has no way of reversing what happened to Vickers, but they're going to look for a diplomatic solution to get the rest of the prawns out of there. I don't think they're risking going to war because they know how crazy those white people are.
Okay. Ryan, what do you think?
Oh, sorry. I'm reading about Scanner Cop. I went down that rabbit hole.
Ryan, focus, Ryan, focus.
The one that his internet's
Was
working
that a
great.
shitty
He's
movie? I
getting
didn't watch it.
distracted.
Yeah, okay.
It's the 4th movie in the Scanners series, apparently. Patrick might like it. Anyway.
No, don't say Patrick. Don't bring him up. We've had a good discussion on a good movie.
He might appear. Yeah. All right, so go ahead.
Anyway, no, I think it's kind of a tough thing. I mean, if he does come back,
Well, what do you think is going to happen?
I don't know. I think he would leave Vikas to his fate. He wouldn't help him at all. I don't know if he would. I think he would come back for his son, but I don't know if he would.
Well, his son went with him.
His son's with
Oh
him.
yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah. I don't know if he. I think he would definitely come back for the other prawns, but I think he would just leave Vikas to his fate, and just let him fend for himself.
It might be beyond him. I mean, there might be a machine behind, prawns as big as the EMU in.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Okay, so my opinion is that yes, because I am a Christopher Johnson fan. I take him at his word. I think he's going to come back for the 2 million. I think that at the end of the movie they announced that they moved them all into the tent cities, and now it's over 2 million. So the population is increasing. I think he's going to come back. I think we saw with the technology do what just one weapon can do. And I think he's going to come and lay the fucking smackdown on the earth.
I think
that's my opinion.
Possibly.
I'm taking him at his word. He hasn't had any subterfuge or anything like that. He doesn't appear to be shady. That's what I'm going with.
I don't think there's any way he can change Vickers back, though. I think Vickers is definitely a prawn for the rest of his life.
Yeah, probably. And
it's funny. It's funny that you mentioned Kafka earlier, because this reminded me of the Metamorphosis, where Gregor Samsa becomes a cockroach. He awakes to find that he's turned into a giant bug. This is kind of like that at the end of this. He's Gregor Samsa now, turning into this creature.
Yeah. He says immigration was also mentioned in Virtuosity with Russell Crowe and Denzel.
Wow, I haven't seen that movie in years.
I remember that one.
I never saw it. I
think that was the first time I was introduced to Russell Crowe.
I want to talk about immigration and separation. Elysium, the next movie.
Yeah.
Elysium's really good.
Yeah, it is.
And my favorite of the three is Chappie.
All the elite people are living in space, right? Yeah, they'll let them eat cake crab. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Jodie Foster is the president or the leader of it. Yeah.
Well, she's the admin.
Even Matt Damon couldn't ruin that movie.
Who's that?
Said even Matt Damon couldn't ruin that one.
Oh, right. Matt Damon's in it. Okay.
Yeah. That was really good. My favorite of the three that I've seen is Chappie, the one that follows that.
I've never seen it.
Oh, is that a sequel?
No. No, it's its own thing. None of these none of his movies connect.
Oh, you're talking about this Blomkamp.
Correct. Yeah.
Okay. Is Chappie the one with Hugh Jackman?
Yes, and Sigourney Weaver, and the guy who plays Vickers in this, he's the motion capture guy for the Chappie robot.
Oh, is he? Okay. Sholto Copley. All right.
It's amazing how in this film there are no real name actors. I mean, at least
not that we would know
in Hollywood.
I saw one guy,
an exclusive South African cast.
No, I saw one guy, and I wouldn't know his name, but he must be one of Peter Jackson's people, because he's a New Zealand actor, and he was in Lord of the Rings. Let me see if I can bring him up. I was just reading his name. A guy named hold on. Jed Brophy. He's an officer with the Alien Crimes. He's been in like all of Peter Jackson's films. He was in King Kong. He was in Lord of the Rings. And he was one of the dwarfs in The Hobbit. But he seems to be the only like South African actor in the movie. Yeah,
because when I looked him up on IMDb, a lot of the actors didn't even have headshots.
Right.
Yeah.
Most of the actors in this movie didn't even have IMDb headshots. So
you're seeing more and more films coming out of South Africa, and series too. Did you see Raised by Wolves?
Mm-mm.
No.
Oh, that's a great sci-fi series that ran on HBO. But it's very similar cinematically.
Oh,
They're all shot the same and really, really good effects. But
and
there's definitely a look to South African productions that's
yeah,
unique and it looks
and
very stylized.
South Africa also gave us Charlize Theron. So
No, thank God for her.
Yeah.
yeah,
I think the first time I saw her was Devil's Advocate.
Same
yeah,
here.
that's the first time I saw her. Yeah,
Yeah,
Not
because I used to mistake her with Ashley Judd. I'm like, is that
Oh
Ashley
gosh,
Judd?
I could see that when she cut her hair and made it dark. in that movie,
yeah. Like
Yeah,
like Ashley Judd in Heat, like that
Yeah,
period.
yeah.
Ashley,
She's got a great ass, you know. And yeah,
And you got your head all the way
all the way up it.
Ferocious,
Yeah,
aren't I?
Yeah. Why'd I get messed up with that bitch?
When I think of asses, a woman's ass.
All right. That's enough.
Hey, you got him started.
No, I didn't. I mentioned one thing.
It's all it takes.
So this brings us to the point. I think. Is there anything that somebody wanted to address about this film that we did not?
No, I think I hit all my points.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get to the part in the show where we rate the film. This channel has a system, a rating system that goes from 0 to 5 up by halves. So 0, 0.5, 1, 1.5, all the way to 5. So 0, for example, would be I'd rather spill a carton of sour milk all over the floor than watch this movie again. All the way to 5, which is, this is cinema. This is the entire reason, I watch films in the first place. Eric, how would you rate District 9?
I'm going to give it a 4.5. I'm taking half a point away because our protagonist is not a likable character. And I understand why, but if he was more likable, I would have given it a 5. Other than that, the action's fantastic. The story is great. It has a message, but it's not beating us over the head with it. We can put
Not
2 and 2.
Candyman 2021.
Yeah, no fucking shit. We get it. Cops are bad. Okay, Jesus. But here's the thing: we can put 2 and 2 together. Watching this, we know right away what they're trying to say, and they make the monsters, air quotes, humanize, and then make the humans the monsters. I've always liked when that type of things happen, but from beginning to end, the way it's shot, the acting, all of it is great. But I'm gonna knock half a point off for Vickers just because he's just so unlikable from beginning to end.
Okay. Wickers, you heard what he said about you. How are you rating your own performance in the film?
I'm on line with Eric. I'm going to give it a 4.5. Not because anything's bad necessarily. Just like Eric said, great cinematography, great CGI. It's a unique idea. I found it deeply funny. I mean, when a prawn kicks Wicker's assistant apart and they're picking up his leg and putting it in the trash can, how do you not find that funny? It's a fantastic film. I won't go so far as to say, it's a great film because it followed too many typical sci-fi tropes where I knew what was going to happen at each stage of the film. It's fine. It's a formula. It went for it and it did it really, really well. So 4.5, but I can't go with a 5. There was no amazing twist. It was, kind of the map was there and I knew where it was going to go.
Okay.
But still, 4.5. I love this movie.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ryan, what do you got for us?
I don't know. I guess I would go with probably 4.5 too. I mean, they brought up pretty much all. But I like the fact that we don't like the protagonist. You don't always have to like the protagonist. The protagonist can be a complete asshole. I think it's a neat little movie. It's a great little kind of still not really that well known to this day, unless you're really hardcore into sci-fi.
Yeah.
It's a very creative story, very original, and they took those tropes and tried to put an original spin on it. I like the message. I like the whole kind of real world links that it has. You know, again, the cinematography, like I said, the way it was filmed, like a news, like footage, you know, kind of thing, like a documentary almost. It's everybody, and for a cast of unknowns, you know, it held my attention. It was just it's a cool movie, and you know, I mean, I have to give it the 4.5 because of, you know, kind of the similar things with the tropes, and you know where it's going eventually. You know, you kind of have the feeling he's going to turn into an alien, become one of them, you know, kind of thing. But so it's still it's one of my favorite, one of my go-to sci-fi movies.
Okay. I'm going to go with 5.
Okay.
I'm going with 5. I like the fact that I didn't like the protagonist, like Ryan said.
Yeah.
I like the fact that it isn't until the final 5 minutes of the film that he actually does an unselfish thing. And it costs him everything. At the final 5 minutes, he actually becomes a human being again.
Right.
And sacrifices himself for the greater good to help someone else, and it costs him. He ends up losing any chance of, you know, his own salvation for it. I like that. This, like I said, I watched it. This may be the 3rd time I've watched it since 2009, so it isn't something I go to all the time. But like I said, it just hit me differently this time. I didn't like his character. And yet at the end, I ended up in the last 5 minutes only, really, feeling sympathy for him. Understanding, you know, where he's still, you know, going to his wife and trying to make those flowers.
I did like that.
You know, that, you know, he's never going to get back.
Right.
You know, to that. And, you know, everyone has basically turned his back on him. And he's done this thing that no one will ever acknowledge. You know, this thing that he's done to allow these people to go back and, you know, have a chance to come back at some point and rescue these people was because of him. And he'll never be acknowledged for it. You know, it's something that no one will ever know about except for, you know, Christopher Johnson and his son.
Right.
Great action, a great story. Great story.
Yeah.
You know, it does have a message. It doesn't hit you over the head. And yet at the same time, it hit me pretty hard. Yeah. I mean, you know, not your standard First Contact film. So, yeah, I can't find anything to complain about it. Even though I didn't find it humorous, I think the fact that I didn't find it humorous actually lent it more credibility for me. So I'm going with 5. 5 out of 5.
Very cool.
All right. Eric, plug something.
When I'm not here with you, I finally, much to your chagrin, I told you, I uploaded my my video for Underworld Awakenings. I'm very, very happy with that film. I'm very happy with this this franchise. Can't wait to watch the last one. That video will be up sometime. Trust me, it'll happen. But other than that, I know the wife is going to join the channel. We're going to, because the new one's coming out, we're going to discuss the Indiana Jones movies. We're going to have fun discussing the first 3.
Okay, yeah.
And we haven't seen Crystal Skull, honestly, since it came out on DVD. So it'll
Bill
be
and
kind
I
of
were talking about the new ones before. You guys came on.
Yeah, kind of fresh eyes on Crystal Skull, and then we'll talk about the new one whenever it comes out. But other than that, it's just random videos whenever I get the motivation or energy to put something up.
How many Underworld movies are there?
5.
5 Underworld movies? I've only ever seen the first one. I don't really remember it that much.
Oh, the first one is like the least among them.
Yeah, the first one. I don't want to say worst, but it's the least good, if that's the proper term. You know what I mean? As they go on, they're getting better as they go on. Yeah.
What's your favorite one so far? Is it Evolution? Is it?
It's like I said in my Awakenings video, it's tough to rank them. Like Underworld, the original, is definitely at the bottom, but Evolution is just so much fun. I love Rise of the Lycans because of the time period it is, you know, the swords and stuff like that. But this last one, Awakenings, was just so fucking violent and fun. And you got the daughter, like a 12-year-old daughter, ripping werewolves in half and stuff like that. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's like an MCU awake underworld. It's
Yeah.
like a Hulk. It's got like a Hulk in there. Yeah.
I'll have to check
They're
them out.
fun.
I don't remember the first one. I only saw it once.
The first one is probably the one with the best acting.
Yes.
You got Bill Nye.
That's right, Bill Nye.
The whole thing with Craven.
I remember the one guy
from character.
I remember the one guy from Snatch was in it. Vinny from Snatch is in it.
Yeah. Hey Dan, what's happening, man?
Yeah, I think by the time that they realize, hey, we have a hit on our hands, but they realize I think people just want to see werewolves versus vampires rip each other apart, and that's how they went along.
Yeah. Give the people what they want. It's not. Yeah. There are much worse werewolf films out there.
Yeah.
Most of them are bad. All right, Bill, you got anything? Oh, Wickers. I'm sorry. You got anything? Anything diverse, inclusive, equitable?
I can plug, so Otto's Jacket, my band, will be playing its first gig of the summer on June 23rd at the North Brunswick Youth Fair. That's that big carnival across Route 1 from Rutgers Cook campus. So head on out Friday, June 23rd, and you can check us out. Plenty of videos and other content on our IG and our Facebook at Jacket of Otto NJ.
Okay, cool. All right.
Done plug.
All right, so check it out down here at the Jersey Shore where shit's happening. It's not warm yet. Like, it's warm, but it's not summer.
Yeah, it's still spring. I love it.
It's 52 degrees this morning.
I left the window open and I was like, fuck it. I like it cold, but I was just like, fuck. Like, I woke up this morning, I almost had to turn the thermostat on. To fucking get the heat going this morning.
It was 88 here in Illinois. So
really, we're in the low to mid 70s.
Yeah, I like that. I like the hot, not the sweltering heat, but like 88, I can stand if it's not humid.
No, I want to see like fucking Al Pacino and De Niro in their roles standing out on my street. That's the heat that I want. I want to go down to the beach like in Ventnor and just
give me all you got.
Give me all you got. That's it. That's what I want. Ryan, you got anything coming up? Any productions? Anything?
No, the only thing I'm plugging is in my phone after this. So the phone charger. No, I don't have anything else right now.
You came real close there, Ryan. You came real close.
School's winding down, so I don't have anything happening yet. I'm just waiting for the year to end. And then,
are you doing summer school again this year?
No, I've never done summer school. But
you did summer school. Oh, you did
I did like the theater. The
Bill,
summer
he works
theater
with Ahmed Khan.
Yeah, that was for like the theater. That was the theater. No, Ahmed retired last year. He's done.
We've had this discussion.
Yeah.
Behind his back several times. Yeah.
DJ Khan retired last year. He's done.
Yeah.
That was for the theater club when I did stuff in the summer. But I don't have anything else going on. Just hanging out, just trying to get things together. So get myself in order.
We're going to do. Are we doing Jaws?
I forgot about that. Yeah, if we can, I'd like to.
The theater is showing Jaws 4th of July weekend.
I'm not 7th, 8th, and 9th on Zoom and watch that kid's body spill out all over that
dick. We can see Quint's nails go down the chalkboard.
Yes.
Ryan was part of the crew that saw the 40th anniversary. 40th. When we went to see it at the Regal, and it was fun. It was a pretty packed crowd. It was about 2/3 full. People still cheering for all the classic lines. It was a lot of fun to see.
Before COVID, they used to show it on the beach at the end of every summer, and I would go every year. And that never came back. It's one of the things I miss about Asbury Park that never came back.
Bill will only the best story I've ever heard was Janelle. This girl that we know, Janelle, and she saw it on a drive-in screen at a lake, and everybody got in an inner tube in the lake, and watched Jaws.
That's
cool. That would have been fucking cool. That would have been cool. Yeah. All right. but we'll try to catch that. Sisu doesn't look like it's coming at all.
I know.
Um,
That's disappointing. I really want to see that. So
I'm hearing great things, but yeah.
we'll have to catch it when it.
Movies coming out this summer, though. We got the new Equalizer movie, Mission Impossible. There's a couple other things along the way here and there.
Still waiting for Beau is Afraid to show up somewhere.
I don't think you're going to get it now, man. That's got to be on its way to video. It showed up for 1 week here, and I caught it like on the Thursday matinee before it went out the next
It was
day.
only in the theater for a week. Wow.
Here,
No doubt.
and we're lucky we got that.
Yeah.
We're lucky we got that.
Well, yeah, I don't know how they decide like what movies go where.
It's nothing but blockbusters here. That's all we get.
Aren't you working in a movie theater now, Mike? No. I thought you said something.
That was John.
Oh, it's John. Oh, I confused I confused the texts. Okay.
I could totally see that too. John working in a movie theater.
Yeah, that's gonna be a blast for him. Yeah. But I mean, like, I was pumped for Zissou, so we'll see what happens. I mean, we'll have to check it out at your house or something.
Yeah. All right. So for this channel, I'll be back tomorrow at 10 a.m. 10 a.m. I'll be doing a stream on the new Exorcist film. We got some new information, so I'm going to be following through with that.
Okay.
Talking about that. It'll be probably a short stream. The last time I said it was going to be 20 minutes, so I ended up talking for like a fucking hour.
Yeah.
Another Exorcist?
There's going to be a trilogy. Like we said, Warner Brothers, Universal paid $400 million for the rights. $400 million. They're going to have to make like $1 billion.
It's not going to happen.
Wait, who's doing this? Warner Brothers?
Universal bought the rights from Warner Brothers for $400 million. That's before the production budget, before any marketing.
Somebody conked out.
You're conking out.
They conked out. Oh, I'm conking out. So wait, so Warner Brothers paid to.
All right, we'll get into it another time. All right, let me just get into the stream because we got to wrap this up. Okay. Yeah, I'll be doing that tomorrow, and then tomorrow at 8:00, I'll be doing 8 p.m. I'll be talking about the Crystal Lake prequels, which I'm kind of curious about because
I'm interested in what you got to say about that.
824 is running it. Brian Fuller's running it.
Oh.
Otherwise, I'd wipe my ass with this fucking thing. But otherwise, it looks really fucking good. Wednesday, Eric and I will be back to complete season 1 of The Exorcist. We've been having a lot of fun about that. I'm going to
watch the episode as soon as we get out of here.
All right, so let's wrap it up. And then on Thursday, I'm going to be covering a Shudder series that I've started watching called Slasher Ripper, which is a slasher series that takes place around the turn of the century for the 19th, 20th century. And it's like a Ripper-style story, except it's based in Canada. I'm following that. So it's going to be a busy fucking week. My thanks to Eric from Hey Internet Eric here. Sure. My thanks to Wickers, Van Bengelhoffen, and my thanks to the Ryan Daly. We will be back next week, and we will have another because we're 1 down, 12 to go. Another sci-fi fantasy series movie for the summer of sci-fi fantasy. All the best to everyone, and we will see you in the next stream.
Cheers.
Bye.
Yeah.